Hello and welcome. This is Noah with Nomad Gaming, and we are here with a video for the Marvel Champions LCG, which is a living card game produced and distributed by Fantasy Flight Games. Today we have a player card review for the Spider-Man hero set, and we are going to cover the hero, the signature cards, the archenemy and villain cards, and how he plays out with each aspect in the game. So without further ado, let's get things swinging. In Marvel Champions, heroes come as two-sided player identity cards, starting with their alter ego side face-up. There are 5 heroes included with the core set, including Spider-Man. Of course, Spider-Man's alter ego is Peter Parker, so let's get started by taking a quick look at the statistics. Our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man comes in with 10 hit points, a little bit below average. He has good hands though, with 6 and 5 hand size on the alter ego and hero sides respectively. Recover of 3 is a little bit below average, but let's be honest, it should be tough to get a hit on this spider. On the hero side, we see thwart of 1, attack of 2, and a defense of a monstrous 3. It looks like we know where Mr. Parker should be using his talents, and I'll give you a hint, it's not thwarting. While he may not look super in a couple of his stats, let's press on to see where his abilities and signature cards make the case for this to be the best hero in the game. As the alter ego Peter Parker, we are going to have the Genius trait and the ability Scientist. Resource ability, generate a mental resource, limit once per round. As we know, resource abilities are always good. Well, most of the time they're great. Downside here being that we have to be in alter ego mode for this, but as we will see in just a moment, strong card design is probably going to motivate us to use both identity forms pretty often throughout the game. Slip on your Spidey suit and we're going to become an Avenger with the ability Spider Sense, Interrupt. When the villain initiates an attack against you, draw 1 card. Not too bad for the old Peter Tingle. No limit here, lots of cards. I think we could get a couple of scenarios where we could get a good ride out of this. Only downside here is being that taking more attacks could end the game quickly, but spoiler alert, Spider-Man's going to come ready to deal with that exact problem. As with all heroes in the Marvel Champions LCG, Spider-Man comes with a signature card pool of 15 cards that will be included in every Spider deck. So let's take a closer look at how this signature deck defines our boy wonder. We start right off with a signature ally with a build-around ability. Black Cat Felicia Hardy comes to us with 2 cost for 1 thwart and 1 attack. She's going to take 1 consequential damage when she thwarts, but no damage when she attacks. 2 hit points and the Hero for Hire trait, and a forced response. After you play Black Widow, discard the top 2 cards of your deck. Add each card with a printed mental resource discarded this way to your hand. While there may not be a ton of mental resources in Spidey's signature pool, cards like Nick Fury, Avengers Mansion, and First Aid are among the staples that we're going to be waiting to scoop up with Black Cat. Aunt May also makes her appearance in the signature pool as a 1-cost support persona with the alter ego action, Exhaust Aunt May and heal 4 damage from Peter Parker. Things don't seem that bad when you can flip over to alter ego mode and net you 7 health. One of my favorite elements in the Spider-Man comics is the gadgets that Spidey gets to take advantage of. Marvel Champions has done a great job capturing 2 of those tools into the game. First off, let's take a look at the 1-cost upgrade Spider Tracer. We have already covered the fact that Spidey doesn't like to thwart, he fights. So this tracker fits right in with where he wants to get the job done and lets him break a couple of eggs. It reads attached to a minion and has the forced interrupt. When attached minion is defeated, remove 3 threat. This does a great job matching up with our hero's ability to defend. And so you might want to take your minion on, stick a tracer on him, let him get his attack in, blanket, and then you can go ahead and eliminate him for the bonus here. It's fun, it's cheap, and it also synergizes well with our other 1-cost upgrade, the Web Shooters. For 1 cost, Spidey gets an item tech upgrade that enters play with 3 counters on it. It has a hero resource ability, Exhaust Web Shooters, and remove 1 web counter from it, generate a wild resource. Extra resources are always a good thing, and storing resources for the coming turns at a favorable cost of just 2 cards, this one and the one you paid for the Web Shooters, is very good. In addition to the cool toys that our friends at FFG did a great job bringing Spidey's character to his signature cards, so let's jump into the rest of the card pool and see what else we've got. Here we've got 4 cards that let us flip, jump, dodge, and stick our enemies to get the job done. First of all, we have the all-star of the deck, the 0-cost event Backflip, which is a defense skill which reads Interrupt, Defense. when you would take any amount of damage from an attack, prevent all of that damage. Wow. No cost, no damage. Yes, this one is good. The FAQ has clarified that cards that say you require that your character actually be the defender, but this game generates enough situations where a surprise attack could kill you that they're going to be defending with Spider-Man, and this is going to save the day. It is worth noting that you can draw off of this with Spider-Man's ability when the villain attacks, and then play this to blank the attack just a moment later. Of course, our hero already gets spider sense, but occasionally we can actually get things right and stop something bad from happening when we use our enhanced spider sense. For 1 cost, this superpower gives us the Hero Interrupt. When a treachery card is revealed from the encounter deck, cancel its when revealed effects. Treacheries end games. Period. And this is a straight cancel. I want this 100% of the time to get rid of some of those really nasty treacheries that have been mucking up our missions throughout the period this game's existed. Swinging Web Kick gives us a 3 cost event that does 8 damage to an enemy. 2 of those pretty much end any villain. So great card, good resource return. Want to play this. Pretty strong. And then, of course, we've got my favorite card in the card pool, which is Webbed Up. The flavor of this is great, and the gameplay effect is also great. The first attack, canceled, just gone. Then you get to put a stun on it. This is great. It gives you 2 turns to establish your board and get things rolling, and then by the time the villain is free, you are ready to end the game. That's the end of the signature card pool for Spider-Man, but before we talk about our overall impressions of this hero and get into some deck building with the different aspects that are available, let's take a brief look at our Nemesis set that goes with Spider-Man. Lots of choices were available for the Spider-Man Nemesis, and I definitely approve of where we ended up. As you see here, we got Vulture as the Nemesis for Spider-Man. He has 1 scheme, 3 attack, and 4 health. That's half a web kick, although we don't get to do halves. He's a criminal with the ability Quick Strike. After this minion engages your hero, it attacks. What? A sneaky 3-powered attack? Flavor? Yes. Fun? Never. He has 2 treacheries. First one is Sweeping Swoop, which stuns your hero and gains Surge if the Vulture is in play, and has the boost ability to stun your defending character if it takes damage. The Vulture's Plans causes you to discard 1 card at random from each character or each player's hand, and places 1 threat on the main scheme for each different resource type discarded. Ouch! And then there's the side scheme, Highway Robbery, which is going to steal a random card from everyone's hand until it is cleared, and then it's also got the acceleration icon. Vulture might fit thematically, arguably excellently, but he's a card-stealing, stunning, sneak-attacking, no-fun bad guy. And of course, Peter has his real-life problems portrayed with the obligation Eviction Notice. Either exhaust Peter Parker to remove it from the game or discard a random card and take a new encounter card with Surge. As I said earlier, I'm still a fan of Exhaust, but that's going to depend on how we've built this deck. So let's review our hero's plan and take a look at some aspect-specific deck building strategies. In summary, our boy Peter is good. Spidey is good. We aren't going to mind being in the right form at the right time, and I can see several costume changes coming down the line for our hero. With a natural 3 on defense, Spidey is really set up to take a punch, but be careful, spending too much time in Alter Ego because our hero is trash at thwarting. High defense pairs well with several of our signature cards and sets us up to intervene for our teammates where necessary. Despite the poor thwart, we do get some help with things like Spider Tracer, which lets us do our job and smash face while getting the bonus of removing threat. The card draw on Spider-Man is not limited to once per round or phase, so we could have turns where we end with 8 or 9 cards if the Treachery deck's not super kind to us. But let's run through the different aspects that we see and see where we think this Spider's going to shine. Leadership is going to come with some fun tools that synergize really well with Spidey. I feel like a broken record, but everybody loves Maria Hill, and Spider-Man is no exception. Drawing more cards lets us find the key signature cards and gets us moving in the right direction. There's actually a lot of ally boosting cards that go well with our signature ally Black Cat. Remember, Black Cat's not going to take damage to attack, so cards like Inspired and Get Ready let us really take advantage of that bonus for her. I also like the fact that we can generate resources for free as Peter Parker and with our web shooters in Spider-Man form. Leadership does have a lot of ways that we can take advantage of those resources, and it certainly is going to open up a lot of options to have that available. Aggression is a really blunt instrument, and its resource to damage efficiency competes and pairs well with Spider-Man. If we can rely on our aspects cards to do damage, we can consistently use Spider-Man to defend, almost like it was meant to be. Free resources are always good, but when you can spend them on high efficiency damage, they get even better. And there are some key cards like Hall of Heroes that pair well with Boy Spider and the Black Cat due to their printed mental resources. Protection is going to have some natural synergy with our main stat line. We can defend and heal with ease. A little vulnerability is opened up by relying on our signature card pool to deal all of the damage. But when we build this into a lean 40 card deck, I think things can go pretty well. There's a lot of mental resources in the protection card pool, so Black Cat turns into a basic card draw a lot of the time, and we also get some defense-oriented effects that help us to ready and then let us smooth out our plans. In Justice, we're going to find the natural complement to Spider-Man's poor thwarting ability. With a natural thwart and cheeky bonuses for clearing schemes and enemies, this can be a really fun build. Plus, Great Responsibility is literally based on Spider-Man, so this is probably meant to be his home. There is a synergy with the mental resource ability on For Justice, and we can play it with Peter Parker or web shooters to get that bonus. But at the moment, I've been having a lot of fun with my protection build, so let me give you a preview here of what that's looked like. Although it seems to be objectively terrible idea to build the deck around one card from the signature pool, I like the synergy between Protection and Spider-Man that lets us build towards the Black Cat's bonus cards ability. The one card that I'm consistently disappointed with, and I'm probably going to have to change out sometime in the near future, is Second Wind. It's a 3-cost event with a printed mental resource and mental resource synergy, but it hardly ever gets played from my hand. The costs of having to go into Alter Ego and to recover 3 before using Aunt May for an extra 4 feel much lower than paying 3 resources just to be able to stay in hero mode. It takes taking a turn off from hero mode just to defend again and then take another 3 or 4 damage. It doesn't seem good. If I do take it out, I'm probably going to replace it with a single copy of Endurance and a single copy of Downtime. Both cards are going to increase our survivability and increase the efficiency of the defense that our hero can provide. Thank you so much again for joining us here at Nomad Gaming for another hero review. We're working on some great new content featuring deck building, live play, and of course the rest of our hero reviews. Let us know what you think of the content so far. If you'd like to lend us your support for free, please give us a like, share, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. Why don't you give me a comment down below also. Tell me what you've been doing with your deck building for Spider-Man. Have you been impressed with our friendly neighborhood spider, or would you rather go a different direction? Take a look at some of our previous videos, including our first look into the newly revealed campaign expansion, The Rise of Red Skull. And until next time, let's go game.